You're listening to the Griffin Sports Insider Podcast, giving you an in-depth look at Missouri Western athletics with interviews, features, game broadcasts, and more. Here's your host, Tommy Rezaj.
Kicking things off right away with Griffin Cross Country as the men's and women's teams. I think there were 12 total Griffins in all that went down there to Joplin for the NCAA Central Region Championships. Over 30 schools on both the men's and women's side partaking in that. And leading the way on the men's side, we've talked to him already, a graduate student runner from Council Bluffs, Iowa, placing 7th with a school record time in a 10K race of 30 minutes, 45.7 seconds. Friend of the program at this point, Wimach. Gilo. Wimach, congratulations on another well-run race. I know we kind of await word from the NCAA on what's going to happen or not. I know a lot of it hinges on whether or not Pittsburgh State men's cross-country gets an at-large bid as a team. But for you, this is a course that you and Powell ran very well at earlier in the fall. Really, our whole team has performed well at the Tom Rutledge course before. Just thoughts going into Saturday? I understand it was probably a little chillier than the last time you were there. Just what kind of went into your preparation this weekend?
I mean, we've done all the physical work that we could do. It was really just getting my mind right and getting in that uncomfortable zone. I was telling Coach Goose weeks out in advance, like, I feel like that's what it's going to take for me to do what I want to do, just being in an uncomfortable zone as long as I can, and, that's what happened.
And then Pau Valderrama finishing in the top 30 on Saturday, time of 31 minutes, 28.71 seconds. And, Sean, I know you had expressed in the recap that it's unfortunate that we couldn't have more following Wimach there up front. But all in all, Abby Kinney leads your women's squad. And you guys achieved a lot, right? I mean, you win the invite. Pau did get the win earlier this year. So a lot of good achievements, and now at least a chance to send our first men's runner to nationals in program history.
Yeah, I mean, it's school records, right? You can't argue with that.
Right.
The possibility, one of the first guys to go top 10 in the region in school history.
Yeah.
Both Powell and Wimach, what they did at conference was another historic moment for the program. And I say if, but there's a really good chance he gets into the national meet. That'll be a first in school history as well. So it's been a successful season in that sense.
Yeah, no doubt about it. When you look at the schedule overall, a 5th-place finish at that Southern Stampede, winning the Griffin Invite back on October 4th, and the men able to finish in the MIAA races a couple weeks ago, 7th out of 12, with both Pau and Wimach earning all-conference honors, finishing in the top 10 in that race a couple weekends ago in Pittsburgh. So Wimach, I know it's about 5 o'clock is what Coach said is about when we'll hear. And again, GoGriffins.com and also Mo West Athletics on Facebook, X, and Instagram. We'll post that news when it becomes available. But as you wait this out and as you look ahead to the indoor track season and things, what do you hope to? I don't know. How do you go about this next semester and change with now the indoor season coming up?
I mean, just being cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah.
I was really second guessing coming back, but
Right.
now the accolades that I've achieved and just believe in myself, it's like, oh man, it shows like it's worth coming back and just having a guy like Powell on our team, I know I can work off of, just like we did with Steeplechase, and we worked together well during the cross season. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I know, Sean, credit, to the athletes. It was, somewhat turbulent in the summer, not knowing what was going to go on, and then track getting reinstated, and folks like Powell, folks like Wimach who have stuck it out, and now that indoor season typically starting first week of December with the Mel Church McClassic in the Hughes Fieldhouse up there in Maryville. So with the track season now on our doorstep, I don't know, what is the kind of the sense of the athletes who have stuck around and those you have recruited to come here and help you kind of continue what was built in the years before?
Yeah, I mean, it's a quick turnaround, right? Some of these guys, they raced on Saturday. They get about 3 days off, and then it's right into track for that first meet in December. So you just got to maintain that focus and be ready for the next meet at the end of the day.
And that's typically the first Saturday of December, right, for the Mel Church McClassic?
Correct.
The 6th this year, December the
Yes.
6th. And that's a pretty that's an all-day event, is my understanding of that one. And it's kind of the first meet of the indoor season, then you get some weeks off, and then coming after New Year's, that's when the big ones come up, and chances for the Griffs to position themselves well in the region. And one guy who positioned himself well at the Central Region race this past weekend in cross-country, that is Wimach Gilo, as pretty much everybody else has closed the cross-country season for Wimach. Still a darn good chance that he could become an at-large qualifier as an individual to the NCAA cross-country national championships, which do come up Saturday, November the 22nd at Kenosha, Wisconsin. That'd be 11 o'clock race for the men if that is the case. So Wimach, Sean, we're pulling for you guys. Congratulations no matter what, and we'll see you at track season. Appreciate you. There you go. Wimach Gilo and Sean Gosewisch. Essentially, we're kind of closing the book on cross-country, but, again, a chance that we still have a Griffin competing at the highest echelon of D2 cross-country here later on in November. So we'll wait and see. Again, 5 o'clock Central is about when we should know today. Let's take a break. We'll talk soccer next. Talking of accolades and achievements, soccer's been doing it, qualifying for the conference tournament and on to the semifinals this Thursday in Wichita. We discuss that next on the GSI Podcast from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. We continue from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill on the Griffin Sports Insider Podcast. We're off and running on this beautiful Monday, a cold Monday, but it was a beautiful and cold day Sunday at Spratt Stadium as Griffin Soccer took the field for a quarterfinal contest against Northwest Missouri State. Couldn't settle it in 90 minutes, couldn't settle it in double overtime, so a 1-1 match settled with a set of 5 penalty kicks for both sides. Mo West hit 4. Northwest hit 3. Katie Stoskope blocks a couple of those. And Aidyn Woodall, the 5'5 senior forward, now a 2-time all-conference selection, a second-team all-conference pick this year. Her equalizer in the 83rd minute made it possible just to get to overtime. So, Coach Plocher and Aidyn, thanks for being here. Yeah. Lots to unpack there. I mean, it was only, 6 days ago we were in Maryville playing Northwest in the regular season, beat them, getting the chance to host quarterfinals. So that was step number 1. And then step 2 was finding a way past Northwest. They get that early goal in the 11th minute, and second half was a dominant effort. I felt like on Sunday you had so many good chances, and at long last, Kendall and Aidyn working together. The goalie comes out, opened the door. Man, where are you after all that yesterday?
Well, tired. I typically don't sleep well after games anyways, but, up till about 3, just kind of reflecting on it all. But I'm just proud of them. Again, we kept knocking. We had so many chances, so much kind of clutter in the 6 and in the 18 as a whole. So for us to be able to, at least get one in there, especially after they scored early, it was nice to see, again, the fight and the wherewithal of our team to continue to push.
Yeah. And I'll have you scoot that mic just a tiny bit closer if you could. Thank you. Got behind early Sunday, and again, that second half, we had the wind, right? It was kind of a crosswind a little bit, not like end zone to end zone, but at least it was favoring us the second half, firing off all sorts of shots in OU and Kendall, all kinds of looks. Kind of an interesting situation. I think it was a free kick by Brooklyn, which puts it into the box. Goalie comes out. Kendall passes it your way, and you and the ball and everything kind of tumbles into the net. Just take me through that goal to tie us up there late.
Yeah, I mean, we talked at halftime. We need to just have that will to just put it in the back of the net because, like Coach said, it was bobbling around the 6. We had those crosses, so just Kendall played that ball in. I was like, I got to go. So I just went for it and put my full body on it to just make sure it got in the goal. But
well, what was it, like 14 corners that we had?
I think it was 15, actually.
Yeah, just an insane number. So there were a lot of those were a lot of chances right there where the ball would just kind of come in the middle, and then there'd be a mob of players, and ultimately Northwest, they fended us off for a while, but finally we did break through there. And now the penalty kicks, and Coach, we were talking about some of the rules Sunday morning of sudden death and how does this work, and overtime rules were just tweaked last year where they went back to golden goal, whereas if you score a goal in overtime, the game's over, and to the victor the spoils. Now with penalty kicks, I tried to explain it best I could on the broadcast for those tuning in. So each team gets a set of 5 to start, and whoever makes the most of their 5, whoever can't mathematically come back, they're the loser, and whoever can come out on top, that's the winner. We miss our first, we hit the next 4, and then you put in Katie Stoskope to relieve Mo Bird in the net to make a couple critical saves to get it over the finish line. How often are you guys kind of practicing that situation?
Quite a bit. Yeah. When we're doing different drills or activities, sometimes, if we're playing to certain, goals, after whoever hit the last one, we'll have to step up and kind of be kind of simulate some pressure situations to try to, end the game. And if they don't, then it continues on. Obviously, as we get closer into the year as well, at the end of practices, we'll have kind of some run throughs, and we keep track of all of that just to kind of, see percentage wise and kind of who's made what. And obviously you don't solely go off that, but you want to kind of have that information at your disposal. Mm-hmm. So that helped us kind of assemble the 10 that we kind of had ready to go. And thankfully, it didn't drag out that long, and we could win it in 5.
Now, Aidyn, refresh my memory. We know Sydney Hammett hit the last one. You hit one of those first 3, didn't you?
Yeah, I was number 3. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent. That's such an interesting situation. You got their 10, our 10, right next to each other. It's mano-y-mano, the kicker versus the opposite goalie. As players, when your guys are just shoulder to shoulder watching that, what was that like, just taking that all in at the tail end?
Oh, just so nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there. You can't look. You're just waiting to take your turn. You're watching how they're shooting. You're watching how your own teammates are shooting. You're just trying to, take it all in and honestly think about how you're going to shoot it, which just keeps the nerves going the whole time.
No doubt. And I was talking about it at the top of the show that we know we're the top seed now, that the people are kind of looking to us. We're the 4 seed, the highest remaining. The only highest seed as a campus site in the quarterfinals yesterday that actually won the match, and it took every bit of strength and power to do it. So with that, we go to play number 8 seed Northeastern State on Thursday, 3 o'clock from the Shields Stryker Sports Complex in Wichita, Kansas. Ticket information, streaming information is on our website at gogriffins.com. And Coach, we talked about it up here about a month ago. Northeastern is a much improved team this year with an overall record of 12-6-1. I saw they were beating Pitt at halftime there in Pittsburgh, and they held on against the regular season champs. Pitt State was the number 1 seed in this tournament. On the one hand, I saw a lot of chatter on social media like, yeah, this is ours, let's go get it. And I understand that, and that's correct in a sense, but at the flip side, Central Oklahoma, Emporia State, Northeastern State. We got some upset-minded teams in the field, and I think this just goes to show how good our league is this year with 5 regionally ranked teams and now a bunch of lower seeds fighting for a championship. So with that, what is the plan here for Thursday?
Do everything in our power to win. It's the one game at a time mentality. Sure, there were upsets, but again, like you mentioned, we talk about the depth of this conference and just the craziness that can be. And the initial thought was, oh my gosh, there's these upsets. That's great. This is going to be something that at least on paper lines up to allow us to kind of hopefully have a easier route. But then you look at because of the upsets. Okay, well now are we still potentially on the outside looking in when it comes for those regional spots? So at the end of the day, again, we have to control what we can control, which is coming out on Thursday and hopefully getting the result and then being in a position to advance and win the conference tournament on Saturday.
Aidyn, anything to add there? This is your second and final year with us as a senior, getting to play for this guy. And the places you guys have gone, it's been pretty amazing. Just your parting thoughts before you get ready for Thursday.
I think as a team, we're just going to continue to work hard and stick in it and chase to keep checking off those goals, because our goal was to host the game, and now we're on to the next one, so just keep going. All
right, 3 o'clock on Thursday, the semifinals with the championship set for Saturday, November the 15th. On the other side of the bracket, you have Emporia State, Central Oklahoma. They get it started at noon on Thursday, so it'll be available on the MIAA network. You'll have to settle for some other announcer. I'll be back here at home watching, but folks, I got to say, I had a ton of fun up there on Sunday, and shout out to our media team for capturing that so well.
I'm glad you could have fun, because that was so nerve-wracking on my end.
I know it. But congrats. We're all happy for you guys, pulling for you guys, so good luck in Wichita.
Appreciate it.
There you go. Aidyn Woodall and Jake Plocher joining us up here on the GSI Podcast. Yeah, what a time. MIAA semifinals, second year in a row. And again, ranked 7th in the region, 2 big wins that go toward that, both against Northwest. So the Griffs looking to, end it on the highest note possible. Go for gold. That's what we all do. That's the ultimate goal when they line up these 8 teams in the tournament. All right, we'll take a break, and another team playing for some big postseason hopes. That's volleyball, ranked 20th in the country. Let's be fair, it should be a lot higher than that. But it's the regional rankings that matter, and those come out this week. They put us in an alphabetical order this past week because, reasons, but they'll actually rank the region numerically this week. So we'll see where Mo West ultimately falls. Yes, the discussion of hosting a regional in volleyball very much alive, as is winning an MIAA regular season title. Griffin Volleyball in first place as they get ready to go to Hayes and Kearney. Jess Vi, Emma Salker up here to talk about all that next on the GSI Podcast from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. We continue from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill on the GSI Podcast as we talk volleyball now, and what better team in the MIAA to talk about? There is none. Missouri Western ranked number 20 in most recent polls, 20-5 on the year, 12-2 in the league. Yes, alone in first place right now on an 11-match win streak. To talk about it, fourth-year head coach Jessica Fye, and friend of the program as well, a 6-foot senior middle from Sergeant Bluff, Iowa, an all-conference middle at that. Now ranking 8th all-time in our program record books with 319 total blocks, Miss Emma Salker. Ladies, thank you. Another great week, Coach. I know, going on the road always stressful, particularly when you drop a first set, and that's what happened Friday, Saturday. Central Missouri, Missouri Southern get off to a decent start against us, but we take them both down in 4 sets. Third straight year now with 20-plus wins, and here we are, alone in first place with UCO, Kearney, Washburn, and Emporia in a 4-way tie for second, just 1 match back, and 2 matches to go in the regular season. But yeah, in the case of the weekend, again, a slow start. You find a way to bounce back, some close sets both days down there in Warrensburg and Joplin, and your team found a way. I think that's been the essence of this streak. You keep finding ways against some pretty good competition.
Yeah, definitely. Tommy, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the first set against Central Missouri, we were actually up 24-19. 19, yes. Yeah. Well, I'm going to say 18.
Okay.
So, I mean, good for them to battle back, but man, that was a hard one to watch the end. So I'm even more proud of them for turning the game around after such a downfall after that first set, because we were kind of kicking their butt in that first set, and then just got stuck in a rotation and just slowly or quickly rolled downhill. We knew we were walking into a tough weekend with Central Missouri, and there was a lot at stake for them. They were playing for a lot, I think, in the region. And we were kind of their last team that they could probably make a statement with. So we knew we were going to get their best game. And we definitely did. They tested us, and we had to really rely on a lot of parts of our game to kind of pull through.
I think Central Missouri is one of the 6 MIAA schools under regional consideration. Yes. So yeah, it's funny. The Jennies, they're having a good year, and they're in 7th place, 9-5 in the league.
It's sickening.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Well, Emma, numbers on Emma from the last couple matches: 20 combined kills, 13 total blocks, 3 aces. I know you had a nice run there against Central Missouri in one of those sets, so 3 ace serves against the Jennies. And Emma, 110 matches now under your belt in a Griffin uniform. It feels like this year alone we've been through so much, and yet job's not done. We're not even done with the regular season. We've got the conference tournament in our city, and of course we're starting to think about what may come thereafter. Just what is the demeanor in that locker room with these ladies right now?
I mean, pretty much we're telling each other we got to get it done.
Scoot the mic up just a little bit. Yeah, perfect. Thanks.
Basically, we're telling each other, we need to get it done. Mm-hmm. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You have to go out there. You have to not only want it, but prove you want it. Mm-hmm. And you have to go show them that you're a force to be reckoned with.
No doubt, as we have rematches coming up on the road this week. So it starts Thursday, Friday. Typically it's Friday, Saturday. They bump it up by a day. So the Griffins start by going to Fort Hays State on Thursday, Nebraska Kearney on Friday. Both of these matches set for 6 o'clock starts. It starts there on Thursday, a Hays team that we swept at home. And then Kearney, of course, still ranked number 3 in the latest poll. It's been a little up and down for them. The Lopers, they beat Washburn in 4 sets this past week, and then lost to Emporia in 4. So these top teams even are beating up on each other. Washburn, we beat Washburn. Emporia beat us earlier. We get Emporia back, and so on and so forth. So still a tight race. Nothing decided yet, Coach, but we do know a win Thursday would clinch at least a share of the MIAA regular season title. Your predecessor, of course, Marion Carbon, achieving that feat most recently in 2017. I feel like, we've been building toward this, and now here we are, a perfect opportunity. But that being said, how do we not get lost in the noise and just focus on the task at hand?
Yeah, we were talking about that as a staff, and I was even talking about it with Emma on the way over here, just saying, I'm not the person that's not going to talk about it. We'll talk about it today, and then we're just going to continue like it's just another match. We don't want the moment to be bigger than what it is. We played 25 matches. Let's just treat it as another game. Intrinsically, we're going to know that there's a little bit more at stake, so we don't want to feel that extra pressure. But from 2 years ago, we've talked about pressure pretty consistently throughout the season. That's always going to be there, and if we avoid it, we're never going to get used to feeling it. So we talk about pressure a lot. We're going to feel pressure on Thursday. We're going to feel a little bit pressure on Friday. But the last 3 weeks, I feel like I haven't been able to breathe on the bench because we've been in such tight games. And so we've been in those situations. So I think it's kind of like that perfect timing for us to be in this situation. Coming off the weekends that we have, we've just facing pressure left and right, so hopefully it doesn't faze us.
Yeah, and Emma, I guess I'd just close with this. I remember, asking Coach Fye early in the fall that, this is the 50th season of volleyball, 50th year of women's athletics. I know we had a ton of alumni out that weekend watching our matches and, all the history and people we've been able to talk about. Now in your senior year, getting to be a part of the history that's happening right now, I mean, just how special is it to know that this group is making its mark in year 50 here?
It's truthfully so amazing, seeing the growth from year 1 of being here to year 4 and being able to be with my best friends on the sideline. And we want to be the team that is the change, and we want to be top of the leaderboard. We want to be the team that everyone's gunning for because we want that pressure. And so like Coach said, we just got to take it match by match and really see what we can do with it.
Well, you have been a big part of this steady ascension these last few years. I think there's in this league, this is year 5 for me, year 4 for Coach. It's you kind of have an idea who those perennials are, right? Washburn playing for a natty a few years ago, Central Missouri winning league titles. Kearney's been, at the top for many years. But now it's here we are, somewhat the new people on the block within the last few years. Does this group of ladies feel we're trying to prove something, we belong in this upper echelon too?
Oh yeah, for sure. We play every game it could be your last, and so we want to prove that we're here, and it's not just a fluke that we're good this year. We're good because we know we're good.
Yeah, I mean this last couple of classes, this group of 3 seniors, and then the junior class that's behind with Anna and Holly. And it's wow, we're gonna miss seeing you and Leah and everybody around next year. But it's man, you think about the future and the pipeline. People like Caitlin Deani O'Day, a freshman setter being developed. It's an exciting time for this program right now. And the excitement continues Thursday at 6 at Fort Hays State, Friday at 6 at third-ranked Nebraska Kearney on what's sure to be a packed-out Health and Fitness Center there on Friday night. That's a big matchup. That'll be a top 25 matchup and regional implications on the line as well. And then we get to go back home to Civic Arena for the MIAA tournament. That field, I think they'll set the seeds Friday night, Saturday, so we'll know by this weekend how it all shakes out. Could the Griffins be that number 1 seed? We'll find out in a few days. So it's the Griffins against the Tigers and the Lopers out on the road. Ladies, safe travels. Good luck. We're pulling for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go. Emma Salker and Jess Fye joining us up here on the program. Still got some things to get to. We'll take a break. We'll talk women's basketball. We'll talk men's basketball and a football discussion, all still to come. Luke Scheidecker and senior guard Mia Morel, first-year Griffin, will join us up here as they get ready for the Central Region Women's Basketball Showcase from Civic Arena this Friday and Saturday. That's coming up on the GSI Podcast from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. Continuing from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill as we talk women's basketball now with our first-year head coach Luke Scheidecker and a first-year Griffin, a 5'7" senior guard originally of Madison, Wisconsin, transferring from Division II Edward Waters University, which if I'm not mistaken located in Jacksonville, Florida. It's Mia Morel as the Griffins get ready to see a pair of Central Region opponents this week, taking on Minnesota State Moorhead and Concordia St. Paul. So it's been a little over a week, Coach, since our team took the floor to tip off the year at Civic Arena, taking on Grand Valley State, Lubbock Christian. We spent a good amount of time recapping those games last week, but now we get the week off. We're rested, ready to go. And 2 regional teams. How productive would you say these practices have been since last Sunday?
Yeah, they've been really good. Highly competitive. We've played a lot, worked on things that we need to clean up, and just worked on attention to detail with things that, hey, we struggled with, and things we have to do that prepare us for this weekend.
Yeah, Mia, if I could have you scoot that mic just a little bit upwards, perfect. Thank you so much. Mia, your college journey is an interesting one. Certainly, you've been to a few different colleges. California Baptist, you were an all-conference player at Stevens College, which is in Columbia, and then last year, a SIAC Conference Newcomer of the Year at Division II Edward Waters, and it's my understanding that was year 1 of D2 membership for Edward Waters. So you've had a good career, and here you are at Mo West here in St. Joseph. what intrigued you about coming here, and kind of what was the clincher in you becoming a Griffin?
Well, just talking with Coach, I wanted to come to a school that was about winning and just competing. And speaking with him, that's what he gave off to me. And just coming to see the school and everybody that's won in the sports that they all play, it was intriguing to me to want to come here and continue that.
Yeah, and Mia was our leader in that most recent game against Lubbock Christian, at least on the offensive end, with 19 points and 6 assists. Coach, just jumping right into the weekend, we got two teams that it's a rematch of last year. We played these two on the road. We get Minnesota State Moorhead and Concordia St. Paul. And, these start to count toward that resume, right? It helps your in-region record. And we know the NSIC, it's a amazing conference for women's basketball. Minnesota State, of course, coming out of that conference to win the national championship in Civic Arena back in 2024. So top to bottom, great coaches, great athletes, and two worthy challenges here. Concordia, preseason ranked number 11. So we see Moorhead State first on Friday and then CSP on Saturday. What are you honing in on this week as these come closer?
Yeah, we played two teams that, like you said, well coached, and Moorhead picked to win their divisional league, and then obviously Concordia St. Paul being one of the top teams in the country. Big thing for us, right, is just coming out and doing what we do and taking care of our business, and sitting down and guarding. We feel good about offensively that we're going to be able to score the basketball, but it's getting stops and consecutive stops, and putting big runs together.
Yeah, and Mia, just ending with you, having played some D2 ball in Florida, now coming up here to the Midwest, what would you say is like maybe the biggest thing about the Central region or the MIAA that suits your playing style, or what are maybe the differences of a style of play here versus other places you've been?
I would say here we really just play super fast, and like everybody's just on the same page. I feel like more here, and I feel like it's just super competitive. Like each team that you play, you're gonna get your best out of them, and everybody's just competing for the same thing. Like you can just see that everybody wants to win here, and so that's why, as I said, like it's super competitive.
Yeah, that it always is. Makes it fun. I know makes it stressful as well, but that's part of the intrigue of this league in this region. And the journey to March, it's underway. It's here. A couple of good opportunities for Mo West to pick up some regional wins against, again, Minnesota State Moorhead, a team we beat last year, and then Concordia St. Paul, a team that got us in a true road game there in the Twin Cities. So we get them at Civic Arena. We know the lay of the land. Just played there last weekend against two of the best teams in Division II, Grand Valley and Lubbock Christian. So already Mo West pretty battle-tested as they get ready for this weekend. Tip-off times from Civic Arena. The women on Friday night at 7. That's the Moorhead game. And then on Saturday at 6 against Concordia St. Paul. So Luke and Mia, I'll be there on Friday. Kyle Schmidt will be with you on Saturday on the broadcast. So good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it.
There you go. Mia Morel and Luke Scheidecker joining us up here to talk women's basketball. Still got to talk the men's. Brooks and Trey McKowen are here, and so we'll hear from the freshman guard from Iowa, from Cedar Rapids, and of course we'll hear from our first-year men's coach Brooks McKowen as they get ready for the annual Hilliard Tip-Off Classic at the Looney Indoor Sports Complex on our campus this weekend. That's coming up on the GSI Podcast from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. Rolling on a busy Monday from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill, getting ready for another busy week of Griffin athletics, and a good chunk of it in our city, including men's basketball in the annual Hilliard Tip-Off Classic, the first of the two basketball teams getting to make their debut at Looney, at our home base, our home court, as first-year head coach Brooks McKowen is here, along with, yes, his nephew, a 5'11 freshman guard from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Kennedy High School graduate, was this past year the Iowa Class 4A Player of the Year, and originally an Upper Iowa commit, and now sporting the black and gold with Brooks. Trey McKowen joining us up here. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. And, Coach, like the women, we've gotten a week and change here to breathe, still a few days to get ready, taking on Augustana and Wayne State. That's the slate here this week, NSIC competition, and get to play at the home court for the first time. And this was a discussion when we hired you that you brought Upper Iowa to Hilliard a few times and had some success in it, beating Northwest, beating Mo West a time or two. So I know you're familiar with this great event. Just how are the guys feeling about it, getting ready?
They're excited to play again. It's one of those things where we played 2 weeks ago now, basically, and we had a week of practice, and it's a great event. The Hilliard has obviously been around for a long time, and it's an awesome event to be a part of. And we're excited to play at home. We're really excited to get in Looney and get a chance to play in front of people.
Yeah, and Trey, I think you were one of the one of the earlier signees that was announced when Brooks came. I know you were in the boat for the Peacocks for a while, and not long after you flip to the black and gold. I know obvious connection, right, with your uncle and everything, but having a great prep career in the state of Iowa, just what was the discussion when you learned that Brooks would be coming here?
Well, I've always been pretty close with Brooks. He's my uncle, so we've always had a great relationship. And then when he got the Mo West job, I knew it was a good school. And then when on my visit, I saw the facilities and everything, and it was a no-brainer.
Yeah. Now, if I remember right, Bodie Goodman, you guys roomed together? Did I hear that correctly? And you guys played each other in the state tournament, Class 4A quarters, but I know he got the better of that one. How much do you guys kind of talk about that season? Because I know you played each other a few times, and I know he came out on the winning end, but what's that like, just having him as a teammate and a roommate?
It's constant friendly banter. I mean, he brings it up way too much for my liking, so yeah, it's pretty nice.
And he was Waukee Northwest,
yes.
right? Yeah, and Kennedy High School from Cedar Rapids. That's where Trey came out of. And, and so let's talk about, Brooks, so your first official home game, right, after playing at Civic last weekend. But at volleyball matches in particular, you and the guys doing really well, supporting the ladies at those games. So that being said, I feel like you talked about this in your opening press conference. How do you hope to get, other athletes, other students involved and engaged in your games this year? We know Aidyn and the band will be playing on and supporting you guys. So how do you hope to see that support reflected in those home games?
Well, I've already talked to Aidyn. He's got some things cooked up for us, so we're pretty excited about that. But anytime you can support your fellow teams, I think that's big for us as a program, just to be out there and to support the other teams and to watch them compete. These guys all know how hard it is and how much you work before game days. And so just being out there to support them. And it's not just volleyball games. We've obviously been in the front row at volleyball as much as possible. And help, build that student section there. And then baseball took it to another level from what I understand when we're out of town, which is awesome. That's exactly what we're trying to do. But our guys have been at football games, soccer games. Awesome. They've been trying to get out to as much as possible. And part of it is they just enjoy sports too. They want to get out. They want to be loud. They want to, cheer for them. And we hope that works for us too. We hope that people come out and watch our games. We're going to be exciting. We're going to be fun to watch. We're going to play hard. So that'll draw people initially. But hopefully we can get some students out there. It's noon tip, so just got to get them out of bed and get them there, I guess.
Noon tip coming up on Friday against Augustana, the Vikings from Sioux Falls. We've played Augie several times here in recent years at Hilliard, so it'll be a rematch. I think it's at least the third year in a row we've played Augie. Friday at noon, and then Wayne State, the Wildcats from Northeast Nebraska, they'll be in here for a noon start on Saturday as well. And you spent 10 years as conference rivals with these guys in the Northern Sun before Upper Iowa makes that move. Now, Augie, obviously, that was big news in D2 last year when Tom Billiter leaves them after he won a national championship there. Now he's the head coach at Emporia State. And Wayne, that's a team we haven't played in almost a decade. 2016 was the last time we saw Wayne. And the Wildcats had a good year last year, good enough at least, 16 total wins. And Wayne beat Emporia and Northwest at Hilliard in our house last year. So, you're familiar with these two. What's the key this year and this week?
Yeah, both of those coaches have been there. Obviously, Schilling took over for Billiter when he left, but they run some similar stuff, and he's put his own spin on it, obviously. But he's a legend at Augie. He was a great player in their Hall of Fame. So we kind of know what to expect. They're bringing a lot of their guys back. We know they're going to be good. They're going to be older. And then Wayne, they're going to play hard. That's one thing that anytime you played against those guys, they're going to be physical. They're going to play hard. They're going to get into you. So it's two teams that are going to challenge us. Two teams that are very good and have a chance to, I think, make a run in the NSIC this year. And that's what you want. That's what you play these games for, is to help you grow as a team, and then to have those regional crossovers. If we're lucky enough at the end of the year, these are two really big games if you're in the talks at the end of the year for a tournament.
Yeah. And Trey, ending with you, when we played last weekend, it was just we were one of only 5 MIAA schools to tip off that early. Obviously, Pittsburgh Northwest were in that tip-off classic event, and you've had those scrimmages and things, and obviously you and Bodie, as true freshmen, getting to get out there and make your debut and have an impact on the game. So with some rest, but also knowing you've gotten your sea legs under you a little bit, just how antsy are you to get back out there and play in front of the home crowd?
I mean, it's super exciting. I mean, I haven't played a home game since high school. Obviously, that's been a while. And I I think we're both super excited to get out there. Obviously, that first weekend was huge for us, getting our feet under us and everything as freshmen. But our teammates are great with supporting us and empowering us to do great things on the court. So I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, I think we're all excited to see these guys play, and I'll be there on Friday noon for the game against Augustana, and Kyle Schmidt will have the call on Saturday against Wayne State. So it's a busy Saturday on our campus with the men at noon, football at 2, women's basketball at 6 over there at Civic. But Friday works good. Go cheer on the men at noon, and then Friday night you've got your plans to watch women's basketball 7 o'clock against Minnesota State Moorhead in downtown at Civic Arena. So, gentlemen, good luck. Good to see you. Go get them.
Thanks, Tommy.
There you go.
Thank you.
Brooks and Trey McKowen, uncle and nephew, joining us here on the GSI Podcast. All right, we'll take a quick timeout, and then we'll wrap things up with a discussion on football with Coach Tyler Fenwick. We'll chat about it in just a moment on the GSI Podcast from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. Continuing from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill on our GSI Podcast, rounding out the show today with a discussion on Griffin football with the head coach Tyler Fenwick. Mo West entering the last week of the season. Get to do it at home, get to play Central Oklahoma, and try to send 22 seniors out on a high note. The Griffins, we know, Saturday was going to be hard, Coach Fenwick, and, hard it was. That's a Northwest team that's firing on all cylinders right now as they get ready to play Pittsburgh State this coming week. It was a good start by us. We get the ball to start, and Kane Donovan drives us right down the field. We hold them to a field goal there early, but after it was 7-3, start of the second quarter, they kind of took things over a little bit. What was it that was working for us early that they were able to take away so quickly?
I don't know if, it was a good drive. We put together – some good throws. The big thing, to start off, we wanted to take some shots. And, first play of the game, we took a shot and just missed. But we were able to kind of convert on some third downs. And the big play to Demir, they were playing man, and we kind of freed them up and got the big play and got into the scoring zone. And then, hit Demir again a couple plays later. I think we had it. We tried to sprint out. We knew they were big and strong, and you got to get the ball out quick, and you got to move the pocket a little bit. And they just they're a swarming defense. They're physical. They play fast, confident, and so. Able to hit the touchdown to Demir, and you're feeling pretty good about just the drive that we were able to put together. And even honestly, the second drive, I thought we started off pretty good. Had a good run by Brandon. Made some guys miss, and then I think Ricky Dunn came in and had a couple carries, and then we had the holding penalty. And that's something that you can't do against. you can't have those kind of penalties because that puts you back in 2nd and 14, and against them, they're going to pin their ears back and they're going to get pressure, and they don't. Their defensive line is so big and strong, and the way that they play, everything's a bull rush, and they just kind of get into your lap and don't give you a lot of time, and so. You get into those second and extra long, third and extra long situations, you're going to end up punting, and then it kind of becomes a field position game. And they did some good things on offense. We knew they were good on offense. They tempoed us, and kind of got us on our heels a little bit, which is not something that they had shown. So that we had to kind of settle into that a little bit. But they're physical, and I think they do some good things on offense, and I think they're always good on defense, but I feel like now they kind of have an offensive scheme that maybe they didn't have in the past. That they're kind of firing on all cylinders, and they're playing good right now. They're a good football team.
Yeah, that was always kind of the narrative those last couple of years. It's like, they'd be real dangerous with an offense. Well, now they've got it. John McMiniman kind of working with Jim Swoboda at Central Missouri at Tulane, and he was the head coach at Wayne State for a time, and he's brought that element to it. Didn't help matters, of course, when we lose our starting quarterback there late in the second quarter, which on a sack that ended up being a pick, so that was kind of a big game changer. But you did have some designed run plays before that happened for Brandon Burwald, and of course Brandon threw for 300 yards against Northwest the year before, so he's had experience against those guys. And I know it wasn't easy sledding for him; he took some sacks and things like that. But how do you feel like Brandon just managed that situation?
Yeah, we had going into the game, we had some design stuff for him anyway. I think the first play of the second drive, we started off with him and kind of had a quarterback design run on a power play. So we kind of had it. And then when Kane goes down, then you're starting to say, okay, we're going to use those, but then also use our offensive stuff. And, he came out and he threw a good backside seam ball down to Chris Floyd, which was a big play.
And that sent us to the 2-minute warning.
he handled it well. I mean, he's got experience. He's
Right.
played. He can do some things with his feet, but just overall, obviously wasn't enough.
Yeah, all together, it was just kind of a hard day, and they kept the pressure on there in the second half. Talked about this on Friday. I said I might ask you about it. We don't have all the time in the world, but it's a new age of college football now. It's a new age of college football compared to when you were here in your first tour of duty, the early 2000s, the 2010s. With the transfer portal and everything like that, the talk of NIL, it's made its way to this level. It's even the playing field in a sense of like players have more freedom. You can theoretically overhaul a roster from one offseason to the other. Northwest going from 6 wins a year ago to look where they are now. So the immediate turnaround's possible. Central Missouri did it with Zach Zabrowski and Josh Lamberson a couple years ago. So I think, we see it. We've got the talent. I think we've got the scheme. We've got some good people in place that love this place, that care about it. So in this new age of players getting paid and all that stuff and trying to find an advantage, how do we find an advantage to try and catch our rivals that are that we're looking up at right now?
Well, I mean, obviously we're going to have, we've got 20 seniors, 22 seniors that are going to play their last game on Saturday. Mm-hmm. And so obviously, we've got to find a way to build our depth, because right now our depth is very thin right now. And a lot of that has to do with the injuries that we've had that's where, but to bring in, a crop of guys that can compete with the guys that are coming back and competition builds everything. I mean, it's, it makes everybody better. Mm-hmm. Or you find out that they don't want to compete and they leave, and that's fine too. So we got to find, just the right makeup and the right guys, and then we need to develop. We've had some pretty good young recruiting classes of these last couple of years, where you're starting to see some of those guys in our first class. Drew Scott being an example, that's playing pretty well, and some of these other guys. But so you got to keep. It's a balance, because you want to develop your players, because those are the guys that have been in your system for 2 years, 3 years, going into 4 years. But then you also got to fill in the pieces. And so you're going to have, there's so many different avenues now. You got the junior college ranks that we're looking at right now. Yep. You've got I would say next week you're probably going to see a flood of transfer portal, Division II transfer portal kids going into the portal, with the season, being over. Mm-hmm. And then in January you're going to see the next wave of the Division I kids that are going to start jumping into the portal, because that's when their window opens. So it's just it's a constant wave, one wave after another wave after another wave, and you got to stay on top of it and do whatever you got to do to get the best players you can.
Yeah, it's a lot going on, I know.
And find the right fit. You can't just go get the player, but you got to go get the kid that is the right fit talent wise, but also the right fit that's from a football IQ, intelligence, is going to take things seriously, is going to be accountable, like all the things that go into, building a program and developing a program. You got to find the right guys. You got to ask the right questions.
It's a large database just on the screen, and then it's like the human level, the face-to-face. Does that match up? Yeah, it's a lot of things stirring in the pot for a lot of coaches at all levels of college football right now. So Central Oklahoma, that's who we got this week. Very up and down year for them, coming in at 5-5. Of course, they won the league last year. Had a big win over Missouri Southern on Saturday, so they're looking to at least get a winning season for them. That's what they're playing for. Adam Dorrell, he's in his 4th year, and in the conference, UCO's been pretty viable. They beat Pittsburgh State earlier in the year, 5-3 in the league. I know they battled some injuries at quarterback there. They played 2 different guys, but got a pretty dynamic passing attack, some talented receivers, 2 running backs that they've been able to lean on. And defensively, again, I think you point to up and down. Some games they're locked down. Other games, some teams have shown the ability to move it on them. I guess what's more impressive just on paper about UCO, the pass rush, 24 total sacks against them. And we know the last couple years we played them. We beat them in Edmond. They got us in overtime here last November. It's come down to the bitter end. And you mentioned it, 22 seniors, and 9 of those 22 who started their career before the current staff arrived. That's what's been so special, really, about these last couple senior classes, is that a whole crop of guys that could have made the choice to hit the portal and get out, and they chose to see this thing through with the new vision and the new leadership. So guys like Trey Holmes, Brandon Hall come to mind that were here and active in that 2022 season. So bittersweet in the sense of, no, we're not where we want to be just yet, but just like last year, we're at home and a chance to send our seniors off the field as winners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your thoughts?
On which part?
Any
UCO
of that, yeah,
or seniors?
Yeah,
or you threw a lot in there again,
there is a
Tommy.
lot. That's a big sandwich there. I guess how do we
UCO here?
Yeah.
Let's start with
the
UCO.
Broncos,
No, that's they are kind of up and down. They're they've had some games where they look they're really good, and they've had some games where they've kind of struggled, and I think a lot of it has to do with the quarterback went out early with a big injury, and then you're bringing in a young quarterback, and they lost some guys to the transfer portal a year ago from their MIAA championship years, and so I think they're some guys that are new that they're bringing along defensively. I mean, I've been watching them all morning, and I'm not sure I can tell you what they are defensively right now. They mix it up so much as far as the fronts that you're going to see, the coverages you're going to see, the blitzes that go along with those things, and so you got to figure out. That's what we're working on, is figuring out what do they want to be against who we are, and then we got to have the adjustments to find out what their game plan is. So and then. Yeah, I mean, offense. Adam Dorrell has always done an unbelievable job running the football, and the offensive line that when he was at Northwest and the years that these past 4 years, they've always had a good, fundamentally sound offensive line that plays physical, and they're going to run the mid zone play and do things off of that. So they're good. They do a good job, and Dorrell does a good job.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle for sure. And again, 22 seniors to be honored on that senior day. So it's a 2 o'clock kickoff. So hopefully the folks can come out. It's last home game. There's always some, the last game of the year, some extra gravity that comes with that. And Mo West, just like we did last November at Spratt, try to send these guys off as winners one last time after the season that it's been. So we'll throw all that we got at this one, and then we can look to the future and talk about some of those big picture things that we mentioned earlier. So pregame at 1:30. Kickoff at 2. The Broncos and the Griffins. Doral versus Fenwick. These have been some good games the last couple years, and hopefully Mo West on the winning end of this one. So, Coach, I'll see you there Saturday. Good
okay,
luck.
Yep, I'll be there.
Okay, I hope so. Tyler Fenwick. Hope that cold improves as well. I get that this time of year as well. So, I want to thank Coach. I want to thank all of our coaches and athletes for joining us. That was a packed hour there, and we'll podcast it. We'll archive it on our YouTube channel, on Spotify, Apple, wherever you podcast if you wish to listen back to the program again. And we'll be back again Monday the 17th for another live GSI podcast at Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. Thanks for coming. Thanks to Adrian Lowry for providing the improved speaker system. Hope you guys could at least hear me a little bit better out there in the audience. So we'll see you next week. So long.